Hi, I'm Rachel Black with Blackboard Mountain Designs. I live with my husband and my 2 young girls in Reno, Nevada. I've been crocheting for about 15 years and knitting for about 5 years. My very favorite thing to make are baby blankets. Time consuming, but always worth it. My design inspiration comes from everywhere. Nature, TV, movies, practical needs that we have in our house. Sometimes it's simply my girls asking mommy to make a blanket. My process for designing varies. Sometimes the yarn speaks to me first, and then I figure out the pattern, and sometimes the pattern speaks to me and I find the yarn to match. But no matter what, it is a process. There's a lot of trial and error that goes into it, but I love it so much. I can't wait to see all of your beautiful projects. Please tag me. I'd love to hear about your journey in crafting.
Hi there, my name is Kristen and I am the designer behind the Truckee Meadows shawl for the Sierra Nevada Yarn Crawl. This is the exclusive design for Yarn Refuge, which is my LYS here in Reno, Nevada. So welcome and thank you so much for being here. We're very excited to have you, and we're really excited about all of the content that we've created for you for the virtual Yarn Crawl. So thank you to Pam for inviting me back again this year to design the knit pattern again this year. I just really enjoyed designing last year's shawl, and it was such a joy to knit with this beautiful yarn from Archaic fibers again. So this year's kit includes 2 skeins of Archaic fibers Lore fingering, which is a 100% superwash Polwarth yarn, and it is just light and airy and soft and squishy, and it's just such a joy to knit with. It does not have any nylon in it like a lot of soft yarns do, so what I find is that it really has amazing drape that is retained after blocking, and so you don't have that kind of bounce and spring that soft yarns often do with shawls. So I just love knitting with this yarn. It's 2 colors. It's striping and eyelets and short rows, and I was really inspired by our beautiful natural landscapes here in the Truckee Meadows. The Truckee Meadows is kind of the blanket name that we have for this area that encompasses Reno and Sparks. That the Truckee River flows down the eastern side of the Sierras into these meadows and then out into the desert where it ends at Pyramid Lake. And so this area is just kind of like a medley of like desert landscape and mountains and river, and it's just beautiful. If you've ever been here, you live here, you know what I'm talking about. So I was just really inspired by that landscape and kind of knit it into the design itself, and then I finished it off with this beautiful lace edging that creates this really pretty border, and I feel like this kind of has a sort of a rustic, rough look to it, like a sagebrush or rabbit brush would. So it's really, truly a labor of love inspired by my home. So I hope you enjoy it as well. Yeah, so there's 2 different color variations that you can get. You can get either the blue and tan version that I've knit here, or you can get sort of a pinky, purpley, dusky periwinkle color version that is kind of perfect. It's like the perfect replica of our beautiful sunsets here in the Truckee Meadows as well. So anyway, thank you so much for watching this little video about the design. I really appreciate it. And I hope that you enjoy the rest of the content that we've created for the Sierra Nevada Yarn Crawl this year. Make sure you check out all the shops involved and check out all of their patterns as well. We appreciate you being here so much. And if you're interested in finding more of my designs and my work, you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and Ravelry as Kristen in Stitches, formerly known as Marinade Designs. But I changed the name last year to Kristen in Stitches. So you can find me there, or you can also find me at kristeninstitches.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you all have a lovely day. Bye.
Hi, welcome. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. So tell us a little bit about Archaic Fibers and introduce yourself too. Tell people who you are.
So I'm Jay. I'm originally from Reno.
You're originally from Reno. Awesome.
Oh my gosh. See,
It's okay.
Train wreck from the beginning.
You're good.
So I'm originally from Reno, and moved up to Seattle a while ago, and that's where I started knitting. And so Archaic Fibers kind of comes from my love of music and my lifelong obsession with record covers. So all of my colorways are kind of loose interpretations of record covers, and so I borrow all of the colorway names from lyrics, record titles, band names, that kind of stuff.
I love that. I think that's really cool.
And if you notice, there is a record adapter in my logo.
Oh my gosh. I did not actually realize that's what that was.
Yep. I mean, you know.
That's so cool. You think of everything.
Records are a lost art. I mean, they're making a resurgence, but you know.
It's really cool. I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so tell us about the colorways that we've included in the project for the yarn crawl, and just tell us a little bit about what we've got going on there with the kits.
So this is our first kit.
Yep. And we picked those colors kind of inspired by like desert, Truckee River, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so this is this one right here is kind of a loose interpretation of kind of a desert river. You know, you gotta get creative.
Yeah.
And then this one right here is for people who just need kind of a, you know, some brightness in all of these weird dark
times, for sure. Well, and I actually really love the pink and purple version. Kind of reminds me of our sunsets that we have here all the time in Reno. So
yeah, I mean, you could pick out like any colors under the sun.
Yeah, it's true.
For our like incredibly gorgeous sunsets here.
Pretty true, yeah. So how did you come to dyeing yarn? Like what prompted you to start dyeing yarn?
I used to work here when the shop first opened, and randomly one day was like, hey, I'm gonna dye yarn. And then I started dyeing yarn.
I love it. It was that simple, huh?
Yeah, my partner Teresa had been, she'd been trying to get me to dye yarn for a long time, and I was just always really hesitant. Mainly because every artistic thing I've ever tried to do has ended like really badly. Like I can't paint, I can't draw. I can play music, but that's about it. So whenever I would try to paint, it was always just really kind of abstract, like work with color, instead of actually creating something that was something. So this is kind of the perfect way to do that.
Absolutely. It's completely abstract, and and every hank is kind of different, and so that is what makes hand dyeing unique anyway.
Yeah, it is pretty fun. I mean, you can keep the exact same recipe, like you can take meticulous notes and you can do every single little thing, but there's always that one time where you get something completely different.
Yep.
Most of the time you can get an approximation, but every once in a while something weird happens, and then you try to repeat that over and over again to like nail the So
Yeah.
it's
Awesome.
fun and maddening.
Awesome. So kits for the shawl project for the yarn crawl are going to be available at yarnrefuge.com or in the shop. Where can people find you online?
Just archaicfibers.com, and it is the phonetic spelling, A-R-K-A-I-K.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And then
So-
Archaic Fibers on Instagram as well?
Yeah.
Very
Facebook.
cool. All right.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Jay.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
You too.